multiple sclerosis. And those people often have to make major lifestyle changes. Joining me today is Carrie, who's living with the condition and is an MS ambassador, and David is Carrie's husband, and Dr. Vered Hankin is a clinical health psychologist. All right, Carrie, I'm going to start with you. What was the impetus for sharing your story?
Well, when I was first diagnosed, I dealt with a lot of issues. You know, you go through all the gamut of emotions and depression and just different things that I had, you know, to deal with hearing that diagnosis. And so for me, it was just helpful to be able to share my story with others, to maybe encourage them, and maybe that, you know, it's a back and forth kind of encouragement. So it was really helpful for me to be able to share my story with others, to think that maybe I was helping them. So
had you tried sharing your story before, or other methods of storytelling?
I have actually, since we have started on this journey with MS. I've found a lot of different ways to share my story, actually. So we do professional programs, but then we also will sometimes I'll be able to talk to someone at the grocery store and just share my story with them if I happen to have on an MS t-shirt or something like that. So I've actually, any chance I get to share my story with others, I try to utilize that. So.
And David, I got to ask you, obviously this is a team effort. How has this storytelling impacted your MS journey?
Well, as a caregiver, I go back to when Carrie was first diagnosed. I wanted so much to be a good caregiver, and I wanted to do, you know, what she needed, anything that I could do to help her. But I thought, well, I'm not a doctor, what can I do? I'm not a nurse, what can I do? But I began to realize that there were little things that I could do as a caregiver that were a great help to her. Just the small things, maybe our daughter was only 11 months old when Carrie was first diagnosed, so it was the little things like maybe letting her sleep, maybe me cooking, let me do a few things. And so being able to share that in my story, when I share as a caregiver to other caregivers, I just try to impart to them, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a nurse to be a good caregiver. Just be sensitive and also communication is important. That's a big part of it also. And
Dr. Hankin, let me ask you, with your experience and the research that you've done, what are you finding that validates the benefits of storytelling?
Yeah, well, just as Carrie and David shared, just sharing your story can be extremely cathartic and therapeutic, and also gives you some perspective on your own story. But then also hearing or reading someone else's story that's been through a similar situation can be really empowering and can give you tools, and as David said, can give you more knowledge, basically, just how you can handle this difficult situation.
And finally, Carrie and Dr. Hankin, where can our viewers go, or someone go, to share their story?
Yeah, you can go to mslifelines.com/mystory, and there you can read other people's stories as well as share your own. mslifelines.com/mystory.
I would like to thank EMD Serrano for making that segment possible. All right, consumers are bombarded with thousands of messages daily, and it's difficult